Hi everyone, my name is Remco. I'm from the Netherlands, and this is my first ever video. Um, Hopefully, one of many, the first of many, where I'm going to show you, and my cat is going to show you. She might join me. Hello, on my road up and up and up. So currently, I'm at 1,091 points when this match starts. Yes, yes. And I started at about 200 elos in March this year, 2024, and I've been steadily climbing and have my ups and downs. And my high score at the moment is 1107, so I've had a bit of a drop again. But the last couple of days and a week, I have been gaining some points again. So this is my first video, and in which I am going to show you what I've played and how I played and what I can make of it. I'm still a beginner, or maybe like big intermediate or something, but I'm not quite sure of the notations and stuff. So, um, with that in mind, let's see what happened this game. So I'm playing as white, and started with the pawn. As I said, not sure of notations. E4, and my opponent replied with this gambit, and I've been told in most cases, best thing to do is to capture. Queen will come out. Then I'm going to chase it away again with my knight. So that's what happened. And this apparently is the best square for the queen. Um, some people like to bring it all the way back. But from what I've been told, as far as they know at the moment, this is the best option. So I just continue developing my pieces. And as did my opponent, brought my knight out. And he or she brought. I'm just gonna call this person he. It might be a she, but it's just in my system. He brought his knight out, and no reason to panic just yet, even though I'm in a pin. So I castled, and even though I wasn't too completely worried, for some reason, a hunch maybe, I thought easy thing to do is to bring my bishop back. I didn't see any um, immediate chances how I could use my my cat was doing weird stuff. How I could use my bishop, so I just brought it back just to be a little bit on the safe side. And my opponent is being quite aggressive, bringing out his pieces, and even though this is not a pin, I mean he's going full in the offense. And what I was thinking about, um, because he didn't want to allow double pawns already, to bring it back, uh, then maybe tease the bishop away, develop this pawn, then bring the knight to here to put another defender, and then develop the rest of the pieces. So that's what I did. Brought it back, castles, teasing away the bishop, and developing my other pawn, and bringing my bishop out first, obviously, because otherwise, if I would bring the knight out first, I'm blocking my bishop. So bishop out. Um, Sometimes you have to delay your plans because obviously there's like a battery to my pawn over here, which is not an immediate threat because it's defended. But obviously, what is to be expected is that the bishop is going to capture the knight. I would recapture, and then this will be a free pawn with check. So with that in mind, First, I want to push the bishop away, and even if it would take me, and I would retake, there wouldn't be any. There'd be still a check, but it's a useless check, and he or she wouldn't gain a pawn. So he captured, I captured. Bring the knight out. I bring my knight out for some extra protection, and we're just we're just in a bit of development. I was trying to tempt my opponent to capture me so I could recapture because from what I've been told is when you are a bit more on the defense side and you're a little bit more cramped in your position, it's good to trade. So that was my purpose. So it worked. He captured. I captured back. And then my opponent is starting a little bit of a pawn storm, which is not really a big deal. Um I have a. I did have a plan. Yeah, I was a plan, but in the end, I was trying to make like a rook left here and here, and maybe then I could sack my bishop and give a check, and then follow it up with my rook. But my rook obviously uh, cannot even come here because it's defended. But I did see a little bit on the late side. Anyway, it still plays pretty good over there. No harm done. Um, so my opponent has a little bit of a nice tactic here, which I did see. Because if I would take this line, no, yeah, I'm lost for the right word. It's not a diagonal, but this. Now let's go the line. If I capture this line is free, and then my opponent would give me a check here, leaving my queen undefended for the rook to pick up. So I did it. Fortunately, I did see that, so I pushed, and it's all defended. So this is great. A little bit of a more of a pawn push, and I did still want to make room for my rook. I still didn't see that the square was well defended. Uh, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Uh, so obviously my bishop is attacked, so I have to either bring it back here where it is not of much use, or maybe bring it back here with where it might eventually maybe go over here or help defend. So that's what I did. Brought it back over here. So very obviously my opponent is planning to push the pawn and maybe trying to create some havoc this direction, which is not too much of a problem at the moment. But what I did see is that this pawn is only protected once. And I'd like to capture it with my rook. So with this, I was hoping to tease away the rook and maybe capture the pawn, but it's easily defendable. I did miss a nice tactic over here because I wanted to double up my rook and my queen to maybe go for more attack on this side. But as you could see, Stockfish wanted me to go here. And I would essentially not trap the rook, but it couldn't go back here because it's also defended. So we have to go, can't go here, so it would have to go here. And then I could pick up the pawn. So that's a tactic that I missed. But at least it's not a tactic where I lost advantage, I think. not much. I mean, it's still quite equal looking at the evo bar. Now I kind of got the idea to maybe like create a battery and sack the pawn and go in for a potential checkmate. But my opponent isn't like a he's not like a grandmaster or anything, but he still has a he's still nearly 1100 elo. So he did see that. Not to worry. Um, and at that point, I could see that my bishop wasn't doing anything anymore. So I was thinking about maybe trading my bishop for the knight because my bishop doesn't really do anything at the moment here. So, and this pawn could potentially be a bit of an issue because this, if I capture it, it's one, two, three times attacked and just once defended, and it would open up a lot of stuff. So I didn't really want to capture the pawn. So I decided to trade material and then capture it because there's now only two defenders. And I thought maybe with a bit of luck, um, because the queen is not, it was here but not anymore. So it's not, the queen is not defending the bishop. I was thinking about putting pressure on the bishop because it's pinned, because there's nothing defending this rook either. But I also wanted to avoid any tricks with my opponent um, giving me a check, because even though I could capture the bishop, my rook would be undefended. So with that in mind, I brought it back. So it is defended, even though I missed something apparently because the evo bar goes way down. I'm not quite sure why. Anyhow, I brought it back anyway. Nothing I can do to change it anymore. Oh yeah, I think it's because he's giving my opponent play towards a potential checkmate. Because obviously he's now lining up with the rook. And even though it's just the rook at the moment, I mean, oh no, actually it's the rook and the queen. So I'm actually, this is a checkmate threat. So there's two ways to defend it. I could bring this up, but I presumed that he probably would sack the bishop, then give me a check, and then go into a checkmate. So that's not the option I wanted to do. So I wanted to do this one, and that's what I did. Stopping any threat at the moment. That's where my opponent made a mistake. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this pawn is pinned, so he could just take in the pawn and actually go for a major threat, because then this would be checkmate straight away, which I could defend with my rook, but there you go. He didn't see it, fortunately for me. This apparently is a blunder, but I did see there's a threat here, and now there's a battery here. So I figured if he would give me a check, he would give me a check. I could either go here, here, or here. And I was considering for him to sack the rook, which I could then take, but then his bishop would be here. And if the queen then ends up here with the check, it was getting messy. then it probably would be the queen would have to go here or here, and then it would be checkmate. So I thought the only way to defend it was by pushing the pawn. It's defended by two. But this stockfish saw a different stockfish. I saw I could lose a rook, but I mean, I'm at a level where I don't see the stockfish kind of things yet, and my opponents luckily don't either. So he didn't see the trick that stockfish saw. So he removed his bishop, and I thought like, well, I'm on the defense, so trading is in my interest. So that's what I did, and this move is just because wanted to move my I wanted to move my queen over here. But if I would do it straight away, I would lose. Then my bishop would be undefended. So I thought like I move my bishop here and then here and then here. No, here, queen here, and then we'll take it from there. Um, so opponent still very much on the offense. Is a quite aggressive player. Luckily, I've managed to keep everything protected, and this is also like an inaccuracy. It wanted me to chase it away with my knight, king. But there you go. I thought this one worked also quite well. This is quite a good move I found because I still want to defend this pawn. Um, I also want to move my bishop, but I cannot move it here. I cannot move it here because obviously here it's attacked by the rook. There it's attacked. Here it's attacked by the bishop. So it's pretty much useless, and I cannot move my. Hang on. I cannot move my queen here, nor can I here. So basically, I couldn't move my queen unless I wanted to give up defending this pawn, which I didn't. So it was a bit of a tricky situation, and I also obviously thought that he could move the queen here and create havoc. So I decided to move my bishop here, and it was well defended by the pawn. I didn't think my opponent would risk sacking his rook for this bishop because it's not doing anything anyway, and he needs his rook to have proper play for his attack. So as expected, queen coming in, pressure piling up, and the only way I could see to defend, because obviously the plan, well, that's what I thought, and I'm pretty sure that he did want to do that, is to hang on, is take this pawn, and because my this pawn is pinned, I couldn't take it, so I opted for this option, getting out of the pin, so at least he can't take my pawn, which I did. Opponent's still very aggressive. I mean, this is a check, and I've learned if you do a check but you have no follow up, don't check. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a bit scary. I'm under pressure, but everything is still very much defended. My time is getting a bit low, but so is his or her. Um, so no major deal. I mean, he cannot take this. He cannot take this. So nothing really major going on. But I'm still at the point where these situations, I find it I find it quite intense and scary. Uh, and now piling up the pressure even more because obviously now this pawn is attacked twice, and there's no other way for me to protect it. So I guess my best bet is to lose that pawn, just sack it, and see if I can trade queens and take it from there. I mean, I did see potential for these pawns to be taken quite easily if my rook is out of the way. Say if I put my rook here, hang on, if I put my queen there, and if he takes, I take, he takes, I go in with the check and try to munch up these pawns. That was my idea. And this is what happens. So he takes, I take, he grabs the pawn, I give a check, he moves away, and I go see if I can get some pawns. And this to me is a bit of a mistake, even though Stockfish didn't say so, because I'm ready to munch up these pawns, and he is trying to get a trade. And obviously, as you can see now, I accept it. He obviously does need to recapture, but that's the only wise thing to do. And now I'm in, grab the first pawn. So I was one pawn down, now we're equal again. And I have my eyes on this pawn, which he defends. Um, and at this point, I did have a clear view of how I wanted to finish the end game. I wanted to, as you can see, I wanted to just mop up these pawns and get some queens. So that's what I went for. He didn't even capture, which I think is an inaccuracy, as Stockfish agrees, because now I can grab it with my rook, challenging for um, a trade, which obviously he shouldn't do because then I would have a free, a free passer, which the king wouldn't be able to get. So he didn't. He gave me a check, no big issue, and he's trying to attack my pawn, which I can easily defend. And now I was quite confident. I was out of his attack end. I'm clearly on the winning end in the end game because I can, whilst defending this pawn, grab this pawn, grab this pawn. I can bring my king out and just help clear everything off. So that was the plan. And his knight is well misplaced. He cannot go. He cannot come back in time here. So, but he did a good job. He said like, "Oh, if you take that one, I'll take that one." So I had to consider that for a while. But I thought like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought at least I will get a draw, and with a bit of luck, I can create two passers and win the game. But first, I forgot about that. I was thinking maybe I can get that one, but he defended it well. So I took the pawn, he took the pawn, and I pushed the pawn. Yeah, of course he can counter, which he did, and I defended. And I had a plan because I was going to bring my rook here and just go all the way with these two side by no, not side by side, but I mean the rook and the knight can only defend so much, so that was my clear path. And my opponent's king was obviously trying to get it with his rook, trying to push my king to the back rank, which I was a bit worried about, but I was still fine with. So I didn't worry about it too much. So I just kept pushing my pawns, which I did. Check as expected, bringing in more pawns. I'm pushing the pawns. I didn't need to take it, but actually I did need to take it because otherwise I would just lose a pawn. So took it, recaptures, pushing the pawn, And check at the back rank as expected. He's trying to maintain the defending also, trying to defend the pawn from becoming a queen. I didn't quite see how to protect it completely just yet, but I thought like if I just stay here and keep pushing this one in, and the rook needs to make a decision: either defend this or defend that. So yeah, that's what I did. Um, this gave me the option to lure him into taking this, because then I could make a queen, which he didn't do. He brought the king closer, and I did became a bit worried because there would be at a moment maybe a bit of a potential for a back rank checkmate if he could get his king there, but he couldn't because it's defended. But anyway, I was aware of it. Still, didn't see the immediate threat, so kept pushing. Check. And this is, I think, where my opponent just lost it completely and gave me a check, gave me a check back, check. I move towards the rook, so I'm attacking the rook. And my opponent, I don't know what this is, if it's a mistake or maybe a mouse slip. But I mean, I obviously did think about it for a little while. Capture, he might give me a check, but then I could just hide here. If I capture and he brings the king closer, that would mean I cannot go here anymore. But then the pawn would still be here, and this would give me time to promote at least one, maybe two queens, and it would still be a winning game. So I captured it, and king came closer, and then I even saw this option, giving him a check and promoting a queen on the next turn. But my opponent even gave me a check in return, but obviously I can capture it without any problem because I even was willing to sack my rook for two queens, obviously, but my opponent cannot even take back my rook. So that's where my opponent resigned. So I'm at 1099 at the moment, and well impressed because I was under a lot of pressure, but I kept my cool and did manage to regain control and finish the game. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.